This is Always Talking Ball. Tyler Noe, Lance Barton. Let's get to our big game breakdowns, sponsored by Brandon Bills. Click on the link in the episode description or the QR code that is in the top right of this screen on YouTube. Type in Branded15 for 15% off of your first order. Let's head to Bloomington. 7:30 p.m. on NBC. We got number 10, Illinois, at number 24, Indiana. The reason I say number 10, number 24, we're part of the All Podcasters poll now, man. So forget the AP poll. We're using the rankings for the All Podcasters poll, man. So go check that out on Twitter. We're part of Walk On, 3 Tech, Gridiron. You know, a lot of those guys. We're really, happy to be part of that. Happy to kind of put our minds together, come out with a ranking every week that kind of makes a little bit more sense than the AP poll.
It's on our Instagram too now.
Yep, on our Instagram. So number 10 versus number 24, Indiana, all the way up to I think maybe 5.5, 6 right now on the line. I'm armed with nuggets tonight, man. I am armed with some nuggets.
Back. Let's go. I'm fired up for the Nuggets, man. I've been missing my Nuggets the last couple of weeks, dude.
I know, man.
Let it rip. Let it rip. What do you got? What do you got for the
people? We got right now, let me pull up my Nuggets here, but Illinois has produced profit galore for its backers as a road underdog during Brett Bielema's tenure. They are 12-4 against the spread as a road underdog. And to make matters better, I think they're like 16-4 since 2018 or something like that, or since 2021 as in road games against the spread. IU, though, they've also been a moneymaker as a home favorite since Kirk Cignetti took the job. 9-2 against the spread as a home favorite in 11 games. Hoosiers are 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games of this rivalry. A couple of injuries to take note. Lee Beebe, the running back for IU, is out for the season. He was averaging 7.7 yards per carry.
Yep.
So that's going to be a hit to their backfield. Give me your first impression, first thoughts on Illinois versus Indiana.
Love the quarterback matchup, man, with Fernando Mendoza and Luke Altmyer. I mean, our preseason deal, we have both these quarterbacks in our top, 8 QBs in the Big Ten going into the season. I mean, Mendoza so far this year is, I know Indiana hasn't played anybody yet, but still, man, he's at 72% completion percentage, 9 touchdown passes, 2 rushing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The dude's only been sacked 1 time. I know they haven't played anybody, but they're doing what you're supposed to do against teams that you should beat like that. They did the same thing last year, but we talked about going into the year, man. I'm going to start with the Indiana offense here. We talked about how going into the season that what they added in the transfer portal along the offensive line, how big of adding like a Pat Coogan from Notre Dame, and Zamir Chalsky, is that how you say his name? The transfer from
Zim Michalski.
Yeah, Zim Michalski, the transfer from Ohio State. So they got better along the offensive line because in the bigger games last year and matchups like the one we're talking about now, Indiana's offensive line did not hold up anywhere near as well as they did in other games. So I am very interested to see how this Indiana offensive line now that they're playing a really good team like Illinois, who has a solid defensive front, how they hold up against the Illinois defensive line. That's a matchup that I'm looking forward to watching. And I mean, dude, Omar Cooper Jr. has just been lights out so far at wide receiver for them. Him and Elijah Surratt, obviously that was their 2 best receivers going into the season. The dudes have 7 touchdowns combined and 464 yards through their 3 games. I mean, E.J. Williams Jr. and Jonathan Brady and Holden Stays, they've also been, pretty solid for Indiana so far. So, I mean, in this matchup, like Siggs and Mike Shanahan Jr., last year against like your Washingtons, your Nebraskas, I mean, even Michigan. I know they didn't blow out Michigan, but still, those matchups, they handled those teams, man. And they really handled the teams like Nebraska and Washington. I think Illinois is probably a little better than what those teams were last year at that time, no doubt. Illinois is a very solid. Like, they're not going to beat themselves. They're not going to have a bunch of turnovers. We saw, like, against Duke, they didn't turn the football over. Duke did turn the football over, and Illinois did what good teams do. They, capitalized and scored and made it hurt on those turnovers. But, man, I'm just really interested to see, what Indiana's offensive line, who wins that matchup between that defensive front from Illinois and then Indiana offensive line. Also, going into the year, Illinois has a ton of returning production back. Their corners and their pass defense was supposed to be a strength of theirs coming into the season. How did they hold up? Because, like, I mean, man, you saw the same game I did against Duke. I mean, Men's and some of those receivers, like there were some yards to be had there in the passing game. This Indiana passing game is better than that Duke passing game. So, can Illinois hold up against these wide receivers for Indiana in this passing game with Fernando Mendoza? I can't wait to watch. Is there something you're looking forward to specifically on the Indiana offense versus Illinois defense that I didn't
Yeah,
mention
I
yet?
mean, I still have my concerns about the Illini offensive line. They're giving up sacks 9.5% of the time on
Yep.
dropbacks.
Yep.
Luke Altmyer is such a seasoned quarterback, though, that I mean, he's got 8 touchdowns, he's got 0 picks, he's completing 72% of his passes. So when he gets time to throw, he's hitting guys in the open.
I want to make a point. He's been sacked 9 times so far this year.
Yeah.
9 through 3 games. That's a good point that you made there. And they've given up quite a bit of tackles for a loss as well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Caden Fagan, the running back, he's only averaging 4.4 yards per carry, which like it seems like a good number, but like we're talking like high end college teams, like top 20 college teams. Like you look at Kalen Black for IU, he's at 6.4. Roman Hemby's at 5.6.
Yep.
Like college, the way the offense is designed, you can get a little more yards per carry. You're talking NFL 4.4 yards per carry. That's great. I mean, you're a Pro Bowler right there. But 4.4 in college just kind of it gives me a little pause on that offensive line. So I'm anxious to see how they come out, how they try to determine the flow of the game. Because Bielema is going to want to run the ball, especially on the road. I think that's his recipe: run the ball on the road and try to chew the clock, try to keep the ball out of that Indiana offense's hands, keep the ball in his seasoned quarterback's hands, and see if they can do some damage against that D line from Indiana. You got the linebackers, you got DBs. I mean, you're going to want to throw away from D'Angelo Pons all night,
Yep.
who's probably going to be covering Beatty, right, for Illinois. So, it's all a matter to me. Can Illinois protect Altmyer enough?
Yeah, I'll agree. That is where this game starts and ends for me. I was, saving that for the Indiana defense versus the Illinois offense. For Illinois to win this game on the road, the offensive line has to be better than what they've been so far this year. I mean, it is alarming that they've given up 21 tackles for a loss and 9 sacks. So, I mean, they've got to be able to protect because you mentioned a guy a minute ago, Hank Beatty, he's Altmyer's favorite target. He's had 19 catches for 289 yards on the year. Been very, very solid. Justin Belwick from transfer from Ball State, 8 catches. 3 of those were for touchdowns. You're talking about Caden Fagan a minute ago. Dude, did you know he's 6'3", 250 pounds?
That's a tall running back.
That's a big boy, man.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he's taken kind of the role of Josh McCray, who we saw him in short yardage situations for Georgia this past weekend. How good he can be in the short yardage situations. So Illinois has got to be able to protect Altmyer. Altmyer, again, both these quarterbacks, man, are very solid. But for Indiana, defensively, games like this is where their preseason all Big Ten selection players like D'Angelo Pons at corner, Aiden Fisher at linebacker, Mikael Kamard on that defensive line. They've got a DB named Lewis Moore who has balled out so far this year, who leads the team in tackles and in interceptions. So those guys have to be big in a game like this. No question about it.
Yeah, if you can have another guy opposite D'Angelo Pons, obviously, that kind of tells you right there their teams are straying away from him. Now, again, like you said, we haven't seen Indiana play anybody.
Yeah.
We've seen them play Kennesaw State, Indiana State. Their Old Dominion win looks a little more solid. I mean, that's a more solid of a win than like beating Stanford or UCLA or anything like that.
I agree.
But,
by the way, timeout. People will laugh at what you just said. They just haven't watched. They haven't watched these teams play. Old Dominion, UCLA on a neutral field right now. I promise you, I'd take Old Dominion.
Yeah,
and that is a solid Group of 5 football team. I agree.
Yeah, I mean they took Indiana. I mean it was 27-14. That's a solid victory or a solid game played by the Monarchs there.
Yeah,
and people that was the first game. People man, Indiana slow out of the gate. Like they also gave up a 78-yard touchdown and a 75-yard touchdown in that game. That was 2 big plays. That was it.
Yep.
So defense has played well, obviously against Kennesaw and Indiana State, but yeah, it's going to be a different test. It's just going to be this. I mean, crazy to say, not crazy to say, this is the most important Illinois versus Indiana matchup ever?
Oh, without
Like,
question,
what
bro.
what
Like,
what does it do for the winner of the game, and what does it do for the loser of the game? Like, what how do you go forward after that?
because this game is at home for Indiana, like if they want a chance to compete for a college football playoff with the rest of the schedule that they also have, I believe they play at Oregon and they play at Penn State
Yep.
this year.
Yeah.
So again, we know the magic number until proven otherwise, until the committee shows. Like Indiana is not going to be one of those teams that's 9-3 and has a chance to get in. Their
No.
schedule is not going to allow that. Their non-conference schedule is not going to allow that.
No.
They've got to be at 10-2 to even be considered into the conversation.
And as much as people wanna talk about Illinois shouldn't be ranked as high as they are, like, Indiana wins this game, that'll be a top 10 victory that carries out through the rest of the year for them. So
Could
this is, I mean, they didn't get anything like that last year. They didn't play anybody until they beat, Nebraska, Washington. They were unranked. Play Ohio State, Notre Dame. You lose both of those. So this would be Kurt Signetti's biggest win by far.
I agree. And this is like the first ranked versus ranked matchup in Bloomington. And like, I can't remember. It's like, I saw the stat the other day. I wish I could remember the years, but it's a
Yeah.
long time since they've
Yeah.
had a ranked versus ranked matchup in Bloomington. By the way, travesty that College Game Day is not in Bloomington this weekend. Said that on the last episode. I'll say it again. They should be in Bloomington for this matchup.
I mean, would you rather go to Bloomington or would you rather just go down to Miami if you're those guys, maybe stop in Orlando, say hi to Corso real quick?
I get it, man. I get it. But that, for the football part of it, they should be at this matchup or at Texas Tech, Utah, this weekend. But last thing I want to mention here, Indiana last year was the best team in the country against the rush. And this year, I know that's last year, but do they continue that this year? Bryant Haynes, the DC for Indiana, dating back to his days at JMU, they've always been stout against the run. If they shut down the Illinois run game, can the offensive line, when it's obvious passing situations, protect Luke Altmyer? That is the key for Illinois. Obviously, if Indiana turns the ball over 5 times like Duke did against Illinois, where they fumbled 4 times and threw a pick, Illinois is going to win the football game. But we can't sit here and handicap that as we're sitting here predicting this game.
Okay.
I'm going to give a game pick here, and I've got a
Okay.
best bet in this game.
Okay.
I went back and forth on this. My best bet in this game is I'm taking Indiana minus 5.5. There's 5.5s popping up right now. I'm going to take it at minus 5.5. I think Sigs and the Hoosiers at home. I believe in Fernando Mendoza and Omar Cooper Jr., Elijah Surratt in that passing game. Offensive coordinator Mike Shanahan Jr. I think Roman Hemi and Kalen Black will be able to do enough in the running game against the Illinois defense. And I do think that Illinois has got problems along their offensive line right now that Indiana is going to be able to take advantage of and be able to slow down that Illinois running game. And they'll be able to do enough to slow down that Luke Altmyer Illinois passing game. I think Indiana wins this game and covers the 5.5 and has a big win in Bloomington on Saturday night in prime time.
Okay, I got a best bet as well. Preseason pick, going through the schedule, picked Indiana to win this game. I think Indiana is going to win this game. I just think ESPN bet popped up this morning, Wednesday morning, with a 6.5 at minus 115. I think 6.5 is too much. Could be a 30-24 type game.
And we both win.
We both win. Now, again, Illinois money comes in late on Saturday morning, and that line gets back down to 4.5, 3.5, something like that, where it opened up at. I may look at, just calling it and just saying, I'll take Indiana 4.5. Maybe I get lucky with a 5 or 6 point win. I think Indiana wins, but I think Illinois covers. I mean, Bielema 12-4 against the spread as a road dog, and Illinois, 16-4 against the spread in road games, period. Since 2021, they haven't always been a top 10 Illinois team either. Like they've been pretty bad a couple years ago, 4-8, 5-7, and they're still 16-4 against the spread in those road games. So I got to take Illinois plus 6.5 as my best bet this game.
My only question to that would be is how many points were they? I bet they were getting a lot more points than they're getting in this game as an underdog because they are a lot better. But yeah, that trend does scare me a little bit. But I know that Sigs and Indiana have, in the 1 year he's been there, have been clapping them cheeks for folks there in Bloomington in their home game. So I'm looking for them to do the same in this one.
Okay, ATB going head to head once again. I'm 1-0 in those, so we'll see what
Yep.
happens this week. Love it, man. Week 4 is sure to be a good one. Make sure you tune in on Saturday and then tune in on Sunday night, Monday morning for our recap episode. It'll be out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Like we said, go subscribe, go follow, go share, leave us a comment, leave us a 5-star rating. We really appreciate everything you guys do for us. 2,000 subs on YouTube is a monumental moment for us. So it's fun to do this. And it's fun to keep going with you guys. Again, Instagram, TikTok, X, all the socials. Go follow us on there. We'll be putting out prediction videos for the rest of the week. We'll be touting ourselves. We get another upset alert pick too. So
No doubt.
for Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.